All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my fellow Falconites. Welcome to another episode of the Blaque Falcon podcast. And today, I'm actually on my own for a change. A little bit different. But I feel good. Everything's all good. Everything's all well. I'm still pushing hard and still being as productive as I can be. Today's episode, I wanted to touch on something that was quite personal to me, something that I feel that everyone around me will also be able to identify with because of this weird, confusing time that we're in. Well, it's not so confusing if you know what's happening behind the scenes, but if you're unaware and just still a little bit unsure, you're still trying to ride through the motions or whatever. Yeah, indeed, it is a confusing and troublesome time for some. And that's the motivation behind this particular podcast on my own, this episode. I wanted to just talk about my own motivations in creating Blaque Falcon, of course, but also in writing my books. And what it transpires to, if I wanted to just get into the root of it, is more to do with what is the cause, what is the root behind life achievements? What is it about? I don't want to just say the word success because success is just such a recycled term. I would say the word achievement, goals, conquering objectives, making things happen for yourself. What is the root cause behind these accomplishments? Obviously, this year, 2020, has been a weird one for most of us. It's been tough. I know it's been tough for myself personally. But the root motivation behind all of this, I have found in my own personal times, and I have written about this on my blog. By the way, check this out. Go on to the Blaque Falcon store, go on to the world of BF, and you'll see the Blaque Falcon blog that I've written there called BF Magazine. And in one of the blogs, I'm not sure which one it's called, I actually talk about how sometimes adversity is actually what you need to help propel you to get to where you want to get to, or where you intend to get you. Tough times and harsh times create warriors. It forces you to become the best version of yourself because it's that best version of yourself that's going to help you get over that hurdle. And nothing is ever put in front of you that you can't handle. But I'm going to just take it back a little bit because I know I went straight to the point. I'm just throwing things straight at you. And I'm just going to go into a little bit of a throwback with you. Just a few years ago, actually about, let's say 4 years ago, about when I wrote my first book, Drax, which you can actually purchase right now on Amazon. Right here, I bought it. Obviously, I bought my own one just so I can show off. And yeah, you can get this on Amazon. You can get my very first book. This was all copy edited, copy written. It was checked by professionals, making sure that it was of a publishable standard. And yeah, it was done, and it's been received very positively. I'm incredibly proud of my achievement in doing that. I'm incredibly satisfied in leaving somewhat of a legacy for myself when I'm not here anymore. Hey, it's scary. It's a scary thing to just come to the reality of, but that is just it. It is a reality. None of us are going to be here forever, so we might as well do the best that we can to leave something for those who come after us. So that was my intention when writing it and releasing it, and it's done. It was also my intention of writing Blaque Falcon. But anyway, getting back into it, the reason why I call this episode Writing as Therapy is because it was just that. Writing my first book was indeed therapy. There was very much a cathartic experience in getting my emotions and my feelings and my thoughts about previous relationships, previous encounters, my experience in going through the corporate world, relationships, etc., with girls and that, just getting it out in the open and just not really caring what other people felt. And literally, that was really the driver for the book. But I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into the main motivation behind writing Drax. So, wind the clocks back a few years ago. Back in, what year was it? 2015. 5 years ago now, in 2020. 5 years ago, in the year 2015, I graduated from university, got my Bachelor of Science in Construction Management, worked really hard for it. It was a part-time degree course because I didn't like the fact that I had to put myself under debt to get an education. You see, so already back then, I was already questioning why things were going the way that they were going, even back then, even before I even enrolled. So I actually enrolled in university, London South Bank University to be precise, in 2013, and I was doing a higher national certificate in construction. It was a good idea because I really wanted to make money for myself without having to scrape the barrel for some sort of trinkets to kind of get what I wanted in life. I still wanted to have a decent social life and get out there. In a way, at the time, I felt that I was missing out because a lot of people that I knew, friends of mine, were traveling all around the country for their degrees. But a lot of them were also, and I'm sure they still are, under debt because of it. I don't have any student loans or any debt because of that, because I was able to pay off my tuition every semester, because I was saving up the pennies, because I was working full-time in fashion retail and also in construction side. So yeah, it's all about your attitude towards the grind and making sure that it is what it is. But anyway, cut a long story short, I got my degree in 2015, achieved it, got it, all done, happy days, etc. And I wasn't particularly too happy at that time. Family was happy. I mean, I think I only just got one picture of me wearing my graduation garment. My grandmother was there. I had the little funny hat, etc. Happy day at that time, but I just felt that there was more to life than just getting a degree. I felt that there was more to life than just going out there and just getting into the work world, and that was it. I worked for someone else for the rest of my life, and I'm just supposed to be satisfied and happy with that. Nah, that's not the case for myself. So I get into the working world. I find myself a job working in construction. Everything is going reasonably okay, and I realized the hard way that life actually has just started. You think that when you come out of university that you've got your little receipt, you got your receipt, your degree, and everything goes okay. But no, life actually starts as soon as you walk out of university, when you get your degree. But you have to manage your expectations, because I felt that everything was going to be plain sailing away from there. Everything was going to be all right. Everything was going to be all good. That wasn't the case. And that's what sparked inspiration, I should say, for the brand, because I just was not happy with society and with life. Things just wasn't working out. I wasn't making enough money. Just the very idea of me having to depend on someone else to feed me in order to get the things that I want didn't really feel good. It didn't resonate with my heart. And that essentially is what really was the catalyst behind me having to start my own company, because I wanted to create a system of economic protocol, if that makes any sense, where I didn't have to depend on writing a CV or a resume for someone to just say, yes, that looks good, you can be one of us. No, I wanted to create a brand that I'm more than happy to work for free, but I'm going to get an array of riches from that eventually. And that's essentially what created Blaque Falcon. It came from a period of anger, loneliness, frustration, depression, because there was a few things personal in my life that wasn't really going very well either. So that was it. That's really what created the brand. And that's really gave me the first-hand experience that taught me, you know what? That's probably a good thing. Sometimes bad times can create good situations. Every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. every dark day, there's a morning, there's a bright morning that rises up, you know, the old cliched sayings. And that is very true, I found in my personal experience. And when you use your experience rather than letting it use you, oh, that sounds good. Use your experience and don't let your experience use you. And what I mean by that is you use your experience, you use your knowledge from a previous time as a working manual to help you, or as a bargaining chip to get you to the next level that you desire for yourself, rather than letting your previous negative and sometimes positive experience to be in the way of you reaching that next level. You just have to kind of just push through it. You see that barrier, you kick the door. You see that you see that fence, climb over the fence, and if you can't climb over it, smash it open if you have to. You're going to hurt yourself, maybe, but it's going to be worth it because now you're through that barrier. And sometimes it's the mental barriers in your mind that actually stop you from getting where you want to get to. And that's essentially it. So when it came to creating Blaque Falcon, I wanted to create a company that just, that kind of just, when you look at other companies, what you tend to find is the company itself, the whole brand identity, the nucleus of each company that you come across, it all comes from that very founder. It all comes and depends on the natural charisma and the natural personality of the individual who created it in the first place. So Blaque Falcon is, as you can see from my shirt, from the website, you can check out the website from the links below. Or if you're on YouTube, you can just go straight to it. You're already part of the family because you're watching it on YouTube. Blaque Falcon itself is a very simple, clean, but very effective brand. And that was always my intention because that's essentially who I am. I try to keep things as simple as I can, but obviously, yeah, life throws its complications at you, but you just got to just push through it. And that's essentially what the wings on the falcon actually represent. You know, it represents visionary power. It represents confidence. It represents royalty, class, prestige, something that you can create for yourself, something from your heart, something that when you have your two eyes fixated on that particular thing, you just go out and get that regardless of whoever's watching you. So that's essentially what I wanted to create. I was creating something. I've been creating a company and a brand that's been speaking to the very essence of what I was trying to embody through my behaviors and through my actions. And that's essentially what I've done. But that may not have happened had I not gone through my previous negative experiences in the past, you see. So that's how you can use your previous experiences to then push you and propel you to get to the next level. You guys get the point now. I don't have to keep going on with this soliloquy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you a piece from my book, Drax, which you can right now, you can get that on Amazon. It's 5 stars. It's been 5 stars for quite a while now. I will show you the front cover. Actually, I won't. I will go straight to Amazon. I'll show you that. Here you go. So what you see here, this is it. All released on the day before my birthday on the on the 1st of June. 5 stars. You can check out. You can even leave a review. It's also available on Kindle, if you like that too, if that's a little bit easier for you. Also available on paperback. And there's also a preview of that as well over there. So it's all good. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see it. And if you're not, you can just imagine that it's right in front of you. But hey, you guys get the point. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you a segment of the book that from one of my favorite scenes of the book. And I'll just explain this to you as clearly and as succinctly as I can. And this is obviously from the ebook version of the book. And what you'll see here is in this section of the story, the main character, Luke, who actually coincidentally went through a similar situation that I went through, in which he came out of university. He wasn't too happy with what he was going through. And now he's gone through this situation where now he owes this local gangster quite a lot of money to pay back his gambling debt. So I'm just going to, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm going to share with you this particular scene and just explain it to you on, explain to you what I actually meant by this. So Luke, our main character, he's met this new guy over at the local pub called Jacob. Jacob's a very enigmatic, very mysterious kind of fella, charismatic, but he's also very, very enigmatic. He thinks he knows him, but he doesn't know him completely. So that's really what draws Luke to Jacob. So they both go to the local coffee shop and they're sitting around, and Luke is feeling sorry for himself. Oh my goodness, what's happened? I'm in trouble with this local gangster. My girlfriend leaves me, blah, blah, blah. And then Jacob says something very interesting to him. And he says this, check this out. Round pegs in square holes, because he's kind of annoyed at Luke's self-pity of him kind of just complaining about what's happened to him. So check this out. Falcons don't fly with pigeons, do they? You need to understand something. Over the years, not much has actually changed. Centuries ago, there were no self-help books, corny motivational tapes, or YouTube videos. People only had each other. Everything that you might have thought was real, all these things that you've probably been chasing, it's an illusion, all of it, like fairy dust. So now you're sitting here sobbing about like what's happened to you, like it's a bloody curse, Jacob says, while I continue to look at him, intrigued. And then Jacob continues to talk. People talk to themselves so much that they create their own little world, unaware of the deception that's actually being played on them. Your girlfriend didn't leave you because you were an arsehole. I can see that. She left you because she was filling a void that you were more than capable of filling up yourself. Believe me, there's a lot more going on out there than worrying about a snow bunny you fell for, my friend. Besides, this sounds like a perfect opportunity to put things to bed. Now, I don't want to give anything else away, but for me, that's one of my favorite bits of the whole book, because now now this new guy called Jacob is basically just come out of the blue and saying, look, guys, look, mate, you can sit here and feel sorry for yourself all you want, but at the end of the day, you being in this crazy situation that you're in, it's fantastic and brilliant, because now this is the chance for you to step up, act like a man, and get things handled. If I can just bring it down to the most easiest terms and the most layman, if I can just bring it down to layman's terms, that's essentially what it is, guys. That's what it is. It's again, I used this book. Writing this book was very much a very therapeutic book. I put a lot of energy to it. I put a lot of emotion to it, and you'll see that I was very raw in what I was writing. But this takes me back. Well, this actually now brings me on to my next book, the second book that I've actually finished writing. I finished writing it early in the year 2020. I've just been rereading it and taking my time and making sure that it's the best book that I can possibly do. It's nearly twice the size as Drax, so you're going to get more drama, more. Well, I don't want to give it away, but you're definitely going to get more drama, more complication. It's set out as a prequel to Drax because it's part of the same Drax universe, but it's set out. The book begins way before, or should I say, just a few months before Drax actually starts, and the events of this new book actually carries on. It's a prequel. Some of the events from the main character in this new book is actually also involved in Drax, but you also see things from her perspective while the events of Drax are actually happening. And then you find out what happens straight after Drax. And that's what it is. And I just thought it would be an interesting take on timelines, on people, on perspectives. And the biggest challenge of doing the second book was that the main character is a woman. So writing this book as trying to see things from a lady's perspective was also the challenge. And I'm very proud of myself once again for being courageous in writing this thing, getting it out there, and just diving myself into the deep end and just doing my best and doing everything the best that I can. So that's it. The inspiration behind writing this book, the second book, was more so to do with I felt that there was much more to say with Drax. I didn't want to make Drax, my first book, I didn't want to make Drax too complicated. I wanted to just have a beginning, middle, and end, and make sure that the ending was succinct and clear enough for people to understand and appreciate. That's how I wanted to do it, and that's how it was. And well, that's how I wanted to do it. That's how I did it, and that's how it is. There very much is a beginning, middle, and end in Drax, but I would say that Heath, that's the title of the second book. Heath, the second book, is an expansion of that universe. That's essentially it. And it was therapy, in the sense that I find that when I write or when I design a new collection of garments, I find that I'm entering into a whole new world. I'm not having to worry about what the television is telling me or what social media is telling me. I'm creating a whole new world that I've created right in here in my mind. And that's the beauty of just being a creative. You are in your own world. You are the architect. And in fact, you are the architect of your own life. But when you put things to paper, you're basically writing your own reality on how things are to be. So without rambling on for too long, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to just be talking and talking and talking when I'm not really saying anything. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you for listening to me. Again, check out, if you go into the description, you'll check out all the links, all the necessary links, the store link, the books, the everything else that I'm doing is all there. You can also check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm even on Snapchat now, which I'm just about getting myself used to. So let's do it. Jump on, connect with me. You can connect with me there. Check out Blaque Falcon. We're here. We're always here. We're going to keep on flying. And yeah, I'll see you all later. Take care and God bless.